Howdy, everybody. This is the sixth installment of the Chokelahoma podcast. I'm Charlie Lewis, aka Diesel, and this is my temporary co-host. Permanent co-host, Victor Gonzalez and Edgar Escalante, and we're here talking about the most recent AGF tournament that we had guys, rolling at. Great match. That was my second ever jiu-jitsu match to go to, and I was really impressed with the venue and everything like that, the mats, and everybody's performance in general. You were there a lot. I was
earlier. There since the early morning, getting guys ready, getting guys down to weight, and making sure that everybody was locked in.
You were there earlier than that.
Yeah. That's the thing that we do with all of our guys that compete, especially in the tournaments or even the fights. As a coach, try to be there from weigh-ins until everybody leaves. Just want to make sure that someone always has somebody in the corner at all times.
For preparation for a tournament like this, what is it? How long do you think it takes for a tournament like this to kind of prep for? Like a month, 2 months? Or in your opinion?
It all depends, really. It all depends on how often are you training. If you're just training all the time, 3 weeks, easy. And that's just to kind of get your mind right on the rule sets.
Right.
And sometimes you can do it just within 2 weeks' notice. I would say 2 weeks' notice just because with AGF and a lot of these other tournaments, you have pre-registration. And it's usually about 2 weeks out before the event.
Okay.
And at the week of, you can't register anymore. So 2 weeks out, you definitely know, if you're going to be competing or not. But I tell everybody, it's if you see or if you find out about a tournament that you may be interested in, but you are in that fence line, whether you want to do it or not, start training ASAP as if you were going to compete in it. That way, if you decide at the last minute that you are going to, you're prepared, and you're not trying to cramp like a month and a half worth of conditioning into 2 weeks.
Right.
And even if you decide at the last second that you're not going to compete, hey, you just got that much better.
Right. All right. That's good. So we had 3 guys that competed in this tournament. We had Keelan, Kyler, and T Mike. T Mike is a new guy that's came to our gym, and he's just, I feel like he's impressive. Wrestling wise and everything.
Wrestling, yes.
Yeah.
Wrestling. I think each did no gi.
Yes, they both signed up for both the no gi and the gi, and that's something that I always try to get everybody to do. I feel it's important to have both under your belt, both experiences under your belt, and it allows you to adapt within an hour apart of each division to be able to, change your mindset, because they both have different rules,
right?
And you have to be able to just adapt to whatever is being thrown at you.
I get you. Yeah, I remember watching Keelan in his first match, and I was just all excited, and just the crowd and everything, just watching. His first match was the one that he kind of got slammed.
He didn't kinda, he did.
He did.
He did. So, yeah.
I remember I saw you talking with them, and you were I couldn't hear you, but I was like,
yeah,
this is not good.
Yeah. So with Keelan, actually going into this tournament, I had I would say probably 60% of my focus was going towards Keelan during training.
Okay.
From all the other guys, from Kyler and T Mike, and that was just because he has put in his time in it, and he was just so focused and determined that he was going to win first. And him being the youngest member of the crew was like, yeah, man, you put in the time, you're coming in, day out. He's in here 2, 3
he
hours.
rolls with adults.
Yeah,
and he puts work on them.
Oh yeah, man. He's 15.
Yeah,
and he's 145 pounds at his heaviest, and he's going with heavyweights, adult heavyweights, and he's holding his own, and You know, he has good days, bad days, and it's just part of the game. But with him in this tournament, I was focusing a lot on him listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in practice, I would purposely would give him instructions, but I would lower my voice down, so he would really have to pay attention to me and look my way.
Right.
And it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
It paid off. First match, and well, every match he had, he was just constantly just following instructions. If I said, you know, take your left hip,
Mm-hmm.
turn it to the right, he would do it. You know, take your left foot, live toes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, push. Yes, good. You know, you just do it.
He seemed real antsy in the very beginning. When I got there, he hasn't. I don't think he did. Was it gi or was it no gi when he first started?
No gi.
No gi. And he was like real antsy, kind of pacing around and everything like that.
Yes.
But you know, you both kind of like calmed him down.
Yeah.
A good amount.
Yeah, it's kind of worked out that way too, where you know, with Victor here, he's been able to kind of help me out a little bit with Keelan, just get him to focus a little bit, you know, get his mind in the right direction. It always helps when you have more than one person, you know, telling you the same thing, but just slightly different words.
Right.
You know, a lot of times as a coach, your students or your athletes, they get so used to just hearing your voice
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes valuable instruction gets lost.
Okay.
You know, so it always helps when, you know, you have someone else and you're like, hey, make sure that they do this and remind them of doing that, and he goes out and like with Victor, he went over to Keelan. He's like, hey, let's try to do this. Let's focus on me. Let's do this. Don't worry about the crowd. Just do this and do that. And so it works out great, you know. But most of it was just trying to get him to calm down.
Yeah, and I think a big part of his like nervousness,
Mm-hmm.
his anxiety was from they kept moving the time that they were going to start at, and they seemed like
everything.
these big lines, you know.
Everything got pushed back, and I was really amazed with the crowd of people.
Yeah.
Like, because the first one I went to was a sub only, and I didn't know that those were smaller. I thought these were kind of like on the average.
Right.
And then I went to the AGF, and wow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like over 1,200 competitors.
There was a lot, yeah.
Over half of them were kids under 10.
Pretty much. Hey, some of those little kids had like some savage battles. Like,
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
after it.
Yeah.
The one that always cracks me up is the little girls, man. The little
Yes.
girls get after it.
Oh, God.
And a lot of times they are a little bit more technical than the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not usually how it is, I think. Just little girls, you know, they develop a better sense of stability and balance a lot sooner than the little boys. But yeah, they had some really good battles back and forth. Good stuff. Man, some awesome takedowns from those little kids.
Mhm.
So it's the future's looking great.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
It was almost like seeing all those people and everything. It was a little nerve-wracking to me because I was just like, wow, this is a tournament.
Yes.
A.
Yes. And it's funny, over the past couple of years, AGF has become the tournament to go to here in Oklahoma.
Yes.
I remember, I don't know, I want to say 6 years ago, I think, maybe, when they first started, they were scrambling to get people to sign up.
Really?
Yeah, they did it in a high school, I believe, in a high school gym or a small little theater kind of auditorium. Like, I think, I want to say maybe like 200 people or so signed up to compete. And then after that, it just blew. It just blew up. And one thing I like about AGF is that they are consistently adapting new things to make it better.
Right.
You know, they can't control how many people will sign up.
Right.
That's just going to be given.
Yeah.
And they can't control how many people will not show up the day of. But all the experiences, for the most part, have been very, very positive.
Yes. So let's just kind of give like a breakdown, kind of like highlight stuff that we remember, stuff that's memorable for like each of our guys. We'll start with kind of Keelan because we were already talking about him. Keelan was just going after it. He was the big kid in this crew.
Yeah, he was. Well, like he had one match in the nogi, and I think with him he got a little bit too overconfident. He's like, I got one match, I got this in the bag, you know. And on top of that, he was just trying to calm himself down. And like I said, that's one thing I was working on a lot for this tournament with him. Is just, hey, don't underestimate anybody. Just, don't fear him, don't underestimate him. Give him respect, but don't cave into your, the natural desires of I'm better than that guy.
Right.
And it didn't go his way.
Right.
But he did a very good job of starting to move. And I would say the first part of the match, he was very nervous, and he wasn't confident in his movements. He wasn't confident in his ability to create the defense and the attacks and the counters. He was just kind of there.
Was that why he was kind of like double jumping between the mats to like talk to you?
Yeah, well, I had him do that so that I could calm him down.
Okay.
And then halfway through the match, you saw him just go. And he just started to move and move and move. But by then, it was just one of those things like too little, too late.
Right.
But it got him set up for his gi division.
Yes.
Once the gi division started, and he was just at first he was freaking out because they put him with the gray belts.
Right.
So Keelan's a white belt.
Right.
And the kids division is white, gray, yellow,
green,
orange, green, and. So he was freaking out. He's like, I'm going up in rank and a gray belt, and I'm just a 3-stripe white belt. And it's like, snap out of it. It's like, dude, like, you are a 3-stripe white belt, but you're not a normal 3-stripe white belt. You've been training, almost 2 years now.
Right.
The gray belt is just make you feel good. You're just trying to keep people, kind of feeding to those little kids' egos to keep them happy and keep training.
Going.
Reward system.
Yeah.
I've just been so fortunate, like with Keelan, that he's not looking for the reward system. He's looking to learn how to be a kick-ass machine.
He just wants to be better.
Yeah, and
I just want to bang, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He just wants to. Yeah, that's exactly what he wants to do. And so once I got him calm down and focus, he was like, okay, and it was just like, hey, you go in there, man. You beat these gray belts. A white belt just beat a gray belt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you're right. He's like, you're in a win-win situation. If you get beat by a gray belt, who cares?
Yeah.
They're higher ranked than you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. So just go out there, have fun, do your thing.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that, coach. So the first match he had, it was against a little wrestler. And this is one thing, man. His coach, once the match started, he leans over to me and he says, he just signed up in my gym 2 weeks ago. He's been wrestling all his life. So he just signed up 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a shade. He was kind of throwing shade in a sense, Like, if his guy beats Keelan, well, his guy said it's just that much better. With only 2 weeks of jiu-jitsu training. But if his guy loses to Keelan, well, it's expected because he only has two weeks of training in jiu-jitsu, So he's kind of throwing shade that way, and I just kept like, that's cool, whatever, and I just kept telling Keelan these little adjustments, fix your grip on the collar, okay, get your your wrist control, get it on top, don't let him have the top control, those things like that. And as soon as he started to readjust, he neutralized the other kid's takedowns.
Right.
And he neutralized him, and then Keelan, the guy managed to get into like a body lock on Keelan, and so Keelan went ahead and pulled guard, like he jumped on him.
Yeah.
Because the kid was picking him up, so he just wrapped his legs around. And his coach goes, "No slamming, no slamming," and Keelan's kind of looked at me like, "Oh shit!" Like
he's gonna slam.
I seen his face. He was just wide-eyed, just like, do I do?
Yeah, and I was telling him, he was like, let go of the guard, let go, get back on your feet, let go. And as soon as he was about to let go, the kid just goes, just slams him. And the rules are the rules. They're there for a reason, for safety.
Yes.
And so the coach was here, so like, yeah, I understand. He slammed. He doesn't know any better. He doesn't know. He just started jiu-jitsu, and I was like, dude. That's why you're the coach. He just started 2 weeks ago. Why are you letting him compete when he doesn't even know the rules, let alone how to do a jiu-jitsu match? It's way different than wrestling.
Not only that, but even in wrestling, you can't slam, you can't spike.
No,
you can't. You have to touch your knees to the mat before you can put your opponent ground aggressively, right?
Right.
So even in wrestling, that wouldn't have been a legal slam because he was standing straight up and shook him down.
Right.
So I mean, there's no excuse.
Yeah, no excuse at all. And it just kind of, it didn't make me mad. It just made me frustrated
A little
bit.
Just a little irked at it.
Yeah. That here you have a coach from a very successful gym allowing someone who has only had maybe 2 weeks of training in jiu-jitsu compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament, not taking the time to teach him the rules,
Right.
not having enough time to actually learn how to move
Right.
and how to attack, and now he's kind of throwing shade. At the same time, it's like, I'm not going to let anybody undermine any of my guys' abilities whatsoever. And, I was kind of a smart as back, and I was like, that's why you keep them in the gym and teach them first before you put them out here on the mat and compete.
Right.
And so then Keelan came up to me. He's like, was that a slam? I was like, hey, just calm down. It was a slam. You're fine. Are you okay?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, okay, just breathe. Sit down, breathe in, breathe out, just like we practiced. Said, it's going to be a DQ. You're going to move on. Don't get excited. Don't get worked up over it. It's fine. And the other kid was just all over the place. He was trying to argue with the ref and trying to argue with his coach, and and his coach is trying to tell me, well, it's up to the competitors if they want to continue. I was like, no, the rules are the rules. So your guy, unfortunately, just learned a valuable lesson the hard way.
Right.
I said, on my guy's health.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go ahead and move on. The DQ will remain. Keelan will go to the finals. Your guy will go to third place, and he will know better next time. And he was trying to be a little bit smart as to the other coach, and it's like, that's final.
Yeah.
The referee came over. It's like, Coach, what do you guys want to do? And I told him what I told the guy, and he's like, okay, DQ this corner. This guy moves on. And that was that. And that's I feel like that's how it should be done.
Right.
Too many times I've seen a coach from a bigger gym try to muscle their way into decision makings with the ref, trying to push the little guy over to the side and undermine them.
Right.
So so Keelan moved on, and he got to the finals. Right. He faced the guy. And it was just dominance.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. He came out there with speed.
Yeah. He was dominant, man, right from the beginning. So when he was running back and forth, he was like, so I'm in the finals, right? It's like, yeah, in the finals. I said, no big deal.
Right.
We've been here before, but this time we're going to win it. We're going to take it home. It's like, okay. I said, whatever it is, who it is, man, just go out there, and I just want you to think that you're just going with me, you're just beating the crap out of me. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. And he went with the guy and took the guy down, and back and forth, little scrap, and next thing we know, Keelan had him in a triangle, and it was tight, and the kid just props to him, man. He did everything he could, and he got out.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he got out, Keelan used that same little momentum to reverse position and got on top. And once he got on top, he just smothered him and started work for Americanas, Kimuras, pepper cutter chokes, that kind of deal. But the kid was not going anywhere.
It's always nice to see the young kids get top position, and then they just realize that, hey, even though we're beating you guys up every day here in the gym, riding you and all that stuff, they start figuring stuff out from being in those tough spots. They're like, I can do that to another person because I've been on the receiving end of this.
Yeah.
And their wrestling is just, when we talk about Kyle, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
His wrestling I was impressed with. But Keelan did amazing.
Yeah, Keelan did everything that we worked on during practice, and that was fantastic.
He was beaming that whole day.
Yeah.
He walked around with those.
Well, it's because he earned it.
Yeah,
he earned it. It wasn't given to him, and it wasn't, out of pity. He earned it. That's the thing. He put in the time and the effort these past 2 years, and he finally won one of his biggest tournaments that he's had so far, and of course, man, I'd be beaming with pride.
Oh yeah, just to walk around with both of his medals and
Dude,
everything.
the biggest thing though from that was his listening.
Yeah,
And I mean it improved from the last tournament too, because the last tournament he was hit and miss as far as whether or not he was going to pay attention to the instruction, and then this tournament did everything, everything he was told.
Yeah, so he did fantastic in that one. And then with Kyler, Keelan's older brother, he was going in. With Kyler, it's kind of depending on how he wakes up the day of. You know what I mean?
I remember I saw him walking into the no-gi mat and everything like that. He looked like a man. Like, his shoulders out.
I mean, he was just like
up.
He was just like this.
He was just like he was rigid. He was like, I was like, oh goodness, he's got a man's body.
Yeah, dude,
it's so weird.
Busy, but he's built like
he's built like a guy that's done construction for like 6 years, and he's just ready. He goes like, I do jiu-jitsu? Yeah, totally, man. I'm ready to go right now.
I'm so glad he didn't have that flop anymore.
I know. That was.
He just brought a new level of intensity to that, that whole thing.
No, like I said, with him, it's like you said, it's so funny because I'm so used to seeing them being the little kids when they first walked into the gym.
Yeah.
And now, like with Kyler, he's developing into that. Like you said, that like a man's body.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize just how strong he is.
For real.
But the thing with him is that he's worked so hard on being technical that when he actually uses his strength, he doesn't realize just how much more devastating it can be.
He cuts off at probably like 40%.
Yes, absolutely. And so he's having a hard time right now understanding the difference, like using strength-wise in training versus using strength-wise to complement your technique in competition.
Right.
You know? And one thing with Kyler is that his ability to wrestle is just improving.
Yeah.
He's in every match that he's had from last summer to now, he has been the one that determines whether he takes the guy down or he pulls the guard. The other guys have not been able to take him down. And if they take him down, it's during because there was a scramble and two from Kyler's takedown, and he was reversed, and then he got taken down. But like not from the first actual attempt.
Yeah, no one put him down with authority.
No.
He's the one that kind of dictates.
Yes, he dictates, for sure. And he has outstanding grip fight, wrist control, hand fighting, clinching, head control. He has very good. He's very good at that. He's just the confidence at that point. Right now, he's still hesitant. He sees his opening, he's a little hesitant because he's like, I don't want to get choked.
He's learned that lesson pretty hard.
Yeah, and so then, but he just has to understand, it comes with confidence and it comes with time. But he did. He did a fantastic job. He made one tiny mistake. He should have juked left when he did, but he went right. Just one little minor error in strategy and judgment in the heat of the moment. He got caught in a triangle.
Yeah.
And he fought it off. And I know it's hard to hear the instructions on how to get out when both of your ears are being cramped in.
All the blood just kind of like got stuck, and you're just kind of like red faced.
And he held on as long as he could, and eventually he's come to it. But up to that point, it was like 6-4, and Kyler was ahead because of the takedown.
Right.
And so that was a pretty hard lesson learning him, but he wasn't pulling the trigger either like he normally would have. And then the gi match started. No. And then he went to the second no-gi match.
Right.
And within the first, 2 minutes, he was up like 11-0.
Yeah.
Took the kid down, just smothered him, got top control and everything. I mean, he was just working it.
Turn him everywhere but loose, basically.
Yeah. And then the kid managed to just put everything into it and got back up to his feet. He scrambled out of it.
Right.
And so they got up to their feet, and the kids just So it was short time, right? It was like a minute left, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, a minute left, and his coach said, "Forget the points, submission only now." It's like that's the only way you're gonna win.
Right.
And so the kid started bum rushing Kyler,
Mm.
and Kyler just went up like this, and the kid reached up for his hand and went in for a double leg. Kind of like how Victor sets his up, and man, it was like a Michael Jordan moment, like him going into the hoop.
Oh goodness.
It was like slow motion, like a good 3 second just gliding in midair.
The air that he got with that kid.
Yeah.
I
The only thing that was going through my head at that moment was that music background.
Yeah.
From, you guys remember the commercial for Jean-Claude Van Damme, The Epic Split?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
It didn't have like angels singing. It was like
it's gosh, yeah. Let's see.
like Ave Maria or something.
I actually have it. I have that song in here.
I remember seeing that, and I didn't know how I was gonna react. I didn't say a nice word, even though it was a family area.
Yeah,
But-
it says. Sorry, the name of the song is "Only Time," and it's by Enya, I think. And
But I saw that he caught air with him, and he just brought that kid down. And I was like, dude.
it's like slow motion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
that was the thing, man. And I think he got caught up in the moment of the takedown, like, yes, and he landed, and he was really good and controlled. And then next thing we know, he just kind of stopped.
Mhm.
He stopped moving, and the kid snatched the guillotine. And
He had like.
he snatched the guillotine, and then he put it into a triangle.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was still fresh in his mind. Like I said earlier, it just depends how he wakes up.
Right.
And he was fresh that he lost to a triangle, and he literally just stopped moving, got stuck in the guillotine, defended the guillotine, and got his hand out for
Mhm.
some reason, and the kid just slapped in the triangle, and he got him with like 11 seconds left.
Well, that shock factor sometimes kind of gets you. I do really just with rolling, like sometimes like there's something and I kind of get into a shock, like what?
Not only that, but like the sound of the crowd. I mean, you had us who were going crazy,
Yeah.
and then his family too. So we were probably a part of that, throwing him off.
Why
Which is
are we so?
hilarious,
Why are we so loud at this?
because
We're good.
We're always so.
that's our mental warfare
Okay.
game. We're not prepared to deal
Yeah.
with
It's like goodness, we're so loud when we go to just about anything.
any type of fight, any kind of competition. We're just.
I mean, it's exciting.
Oh,
You know?
there's no doubt. It's
In those moments, there's no other place on earth that you want to be but just see that and experience that. That's why you get so excited. You
I
know?
guess so, like involved, especially when I see people that I know that's in in
Yeah.
these stuff. Like when I see Victor fight or something like that, or I see even these kids. I just realized I was just like, in Kyler's thing when I saw those two kids leg lock battling that was in his stuff. I was like okay, I'm a wacko. Those are scary to me still. Like that's and those kids were just rolling for those that total
Just
like
left
4
and right.
minutes, just right and left. That's all they were doing. I was just like, no, no, I already got bad knees. You know what? Camo spats, they can't see anything. Let's just go with that.
Camo spats, so you can't see my legs. Can't leg
I'll
lock,
throw
but you
dirt
can't
in
see.
my
I just need that camo gi now. So just
Can't choke what you can't see.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But goodness, like he really stepped up with all that. Like
He definitely did.
He
and
did fantastic.
mhm.
Fantastic. And then on his gi match, he went against the first kid that got him in the triangle in the no-gi.
Mhm.
And it was just in his mind.
Mhm.
It was just in his mind. It's just one of the things where, like Victor said, it's just that competition experience with time, you know? Like you learn how to deal with your losses, but you know you have another match that you have to go to. So that one doesn't matter anymore. Just focus on the now.
Yeah.
And he did very well. He did very good grip battle, very good grip control in the gi. And then he just kind of started backpedaling a little bit. And when he backpedaled, he got squared in the stance.
Mhm.
And when he got squared in the stance, the kid muscled his way into a shoulder throw.
Mhm.
And that threw him off.
Mhm.
And they scrambled. And then just like the one in the first one, he stopped and then just kind of gave him the triangle position. It's just like, I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he got submitted from that one too. But overall, it's a very good experience for him. He is one of those individuals right now, and we've talked about this, where he is figuring out, his competitive spirit. Because after that match was over and 2-3 days went by, I got a message from him. He's like, I have a list of people I want to compete against. And I'm just waiting for me to get to the next rank so I can start challenging in jiu-jitsu super fights, and like I really want to see what I can do against these guys.
Yeah, he's hyped up, he's ready for it, and he's definitely getting set into that competitor's mindset.
So a lot of him is just, he needs to understand that he can do it. He can hang with the best in his age division right now in Oklahoma. It's just him believing it.
I mean, heck, just even like rolling with him. I'm 230 right now, and he throws me around. Yeah. Like
that's how it is with me, man. Like, he doesn't realize that, like, when I get ready for my things, I partner myself up with him a lot. Because he's closer to the weight that I compete in. And so, man, he is so smooth, but it kind of, I don't know, elusive at the same time.
And then his gas tank. He just goes forever because he's such a young kid. He's just got a gas tank.
I've never seen him tired.
I've
never seen him and Danny. I've never seen them tired.
You can get him to break, but you can't get him to be tired. Eventually, they're gonna come back and just get after you.
Oh no! It's kind of like with Dragon Ball, where they had like the little sensu
beans.
He's just like
he's ready to go.
They pull it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then start rolling again.
And just starts going, man. But Keelan and Kyler, they just don't stop.
No. And it's expected, like you said, they're young. They've got an abundance amount of energy. So
I can't tell you how many times I've had to chew him out because he's going too hard. And then, so I kind of think he's got to find that balance. Figure it out in the gym when we're training, how hard you need to go, and then whenever we're competing, how hard you need to go.
It comes with time and experience and guidance from all of us in here. That's the key, and I think that's why both of them have improved so much.
I mean, we all bring something different to the table. I mean, like, with most gyms, you might have that single person, you might have a couple people and stuff like that, but with Jiu-Jitsu Academy of Stillwater, we're all just one big team. Like, we're all here to kind of be for you. If you need something, we can help you out, like, heck, I'm just going to say, even last night, I stayed behind because I saw, two of our guys just kind of working on stuff, and like I was just standing and watching, and then one of the blue belts saw me and was like, "Hey, you want to work on something? What do you want to work on?" And I was just like, "There's so many things I need to work on." I was like, "I don't know just one."
It's too many things I need to work on.
Maybe it was like, "How about just on my back and the person's in mount?" I was like, "Okay, we got several different options."
Yeah,
just like, see, that's the thing that I think everybody needs. Like, you got the guidance, you organize them, you can calm them down. Victor kind of brings them off to the side, does like the warm-ups and everything with them, and, just gets them kind of like in a good mindset. I mean, I'm just...
You provide the comedy. You provide the laughs.
I don't even think I'm funny.
Oh, shit.
Everybody off to the side, like, oh my goodness.
When that double leg happened, everybody's telling me, because I heard it. I didn't know who it was though. I heard it. I'm in the coach's corner, and I hear like, oh shit.
And that thud just comes out of this.
I had to rein it in. I remember T-Mike just like slapping me outside. I was like, hey man, there's kids here.
It's a family event.
It was a family event. And I was just like, man, like, I don't mean to be like that, but
it's exciting.
It's exciting to watch, and just to see like him to do that and like just get everything going. It's just like,
even now you're just so hyped up.
I still relive that moment, man. I'm still reliving that moment. Just the to go up and the bring down with everything, it was just so slow.
The
when I
music
saw
playing in the background.
That song,
and you just see like Kyler just boom, just brings him down. Dang.
You know that hurt. You know that hurt the kid.
Oh,
you know that
that
hurt.
was a hit to the ego. That amped him up to keep going hard.
That takedown had disrespect on it.
Put some disrespect on it.
He owned that match.
Dude, yeah. And I'm just waiting for like that competitor to come out of him to where that's every match.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be
like
scary if he just keeps doing that to guys. Like
Yeah.
he's just like boom, 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 boom. Because I know he can do it.
Yeah, he can do it. He just has to believe it at that point. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, with T Mike, now going to T Mike, with T Mike, he's new in our facility, and you know he's a very talented young man. His wrestling, you know, it's very good. His jiu-jitsu is very beginnerish.
Very kind of like a MMA. Like I mean, he had some MMA experience, so he kind of knows the idea of it.
Yes,
So.
and but it's still very like I'm gonna hold on for dear life kind of thing. And with him, you know, just trying to work with him and trying to work with Keelan and Kyler. Actually, the week of, not even the week of, but when was it? Thursday. So 2 days before the tournament, like 15 minutes, I pulled him aside. I said, listen, this is what the heavyweights are going to do in your division in the gi. All right? This is how I want you to hold. This is how I want you to control their wrist.
Right.
Okay? And this is going to open up the single leg.
Right.
If you do a single leg on a heavyweight, they cannot defend it.
Right.
Okay? Then you're going to go right to side control. And when you go to side control, you're going to try to go into, you know, put your arm on the hip. The side is going to control. They're going to start pushing. Let them push. Let them push. Don't you know, don't get into that, like, they push me and you back away. You stay down. You stay with them.
Right.
Let them exhaust themselves. I said, in one of those push, you're going to time that Americana.
Yes.
And it's there. And we did that for like 15 minutes. That was it.
Heck, he got one in his gi.
Yeah. So in the no-gi, Kyler was doing one of his matches. And I didn't get a chance to go and be with Team Mike, but Melissa and you know, Victor and you.
Yeah.
I think you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I was watching.
You saw his no-gi.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't see that one yet.
His no-gi match, it was definitely the wrestling. And he did exactly the style that he said that he competed in high school whenever he was wrestling. So, like, he just pushed on heavy hands, hand fighting, just being physical. You know, getting in his face, moving around, making that guy work. So that way he was tired. As soon as he saw that little gasp for air, went in on that shot.
Nice.
Takes him down, got to side control, and just got heavy.
Dude.
Now, all day I would just kept saying, melt like butter.
Yes.
Melt like butter, dude.
Yes.
And he was just, and you could see the guy's face, dude, was just not, he was like, this is unreal. Like, I knew it was going to be heavy. I just didn't know it was going to be this heavy.
For real.
You know, so it definitely.
His no-gi, that was wild.
Mhm.
Like, T-Mike had the thing where he had the control, like he missed some of the
Like
single,
Keelan,
the single legs, but
Right.
it was like two bulls going after it.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
They almost knocked over the table. They almost
They almost went into the ring.
barrier.
And there was like T-Mike, and like he acted like it was nothing. He like went in and he was just like, no, whatever, just go back. Goes back to the middle, and he's just like totally ready. This guy was just like,
And he had that definite. The guy was a jiu-jitsu practitioner,
Yeah.
for sure. But you know, T-Mike came in there as an athlete.
Yeah.
He had that. If we push off the mat, I'm running back to the center.
Yeah.
You know, it was very.
Get into his head.
Yeah, his wrestling mentality and his athlete's perspective is what won that match. Him being an athlete.
Absolutely. And then with like going back to the gi with T Mike, I think that was his first gi.
That was his
first gi.
That was his first gi. Yeah.
This was his third tournament.
Third tournament, I think. This
Third
was
tournament,
his first gi.
first gi. Okay. And it was funny though because after his first match, I called him over. First gi match, I called him over and I said, "How's your forearm?" And he said, "Oh man, it's just killing me right now, coach." I said, "All right, it's expected. It's gonna happen. So you can hold it on too tight, no reason. It's like, it's the gi. The other guy, he's holding on to you. Why are you holding on to him? Just put your hands up there and just nice and loose control it, but let him have all the grip. I said, when you're ready to move, your palm goes on top of his wrist, you push it down, create tension, you control that collar, and you do that single leg that we were talking about. He's like, okay. And so he did on the other guy. And after that, the thing with him too, like I said, from an athlete's point of view, since he's done it all his life, he can listen.
Yeah, that's
like he calls it. I get that tunnel hearing. I pick up on the voice I need to listen to, and that's all I listen to. And man, following instructions was wow. It was just wow. Yeah, I literally said, take your right hand, take your right wrist and put it in front of that person's hip, and he just put it on there. Said, okay, he's getting ready to push. I want you to brace yourself. And he's getting ready. The guy would push, and as soon as the guy would push, I would say, roll your left hip towards his head, live toes. And he would do it, and he would just come crashing back down on the guy. And he's like, okay, good. He's going to try to do it again. Do the same thing. Right. Like, all right, now go to the other side. Now go to the other side. And, bear crawl to the other side.
Yeah.
Stay chest on chest, bear crawl to the other side. And he was just doing it left and right, and he got those guys into submissions. On his finals match, it was the same thing. He was going kind of heavy-handed, with the guy. And then he got a little bit too comfortable, and the guy ended up tripping him. And he tripped him, but it was all like upper body strength with the gi and just, tripped him over. And
it also could have been that he was cramping because he did a weight cut.
Yeah, that's true. A weight cut.
A weight cut. Like, I'm going to say, that dude has heart.
He was trying, man. I was with him through the entire thing, and there's a lot of times he did not want to be in there.
Yeah.
And he listened, got back in there. He was already at that point, when you start making, like, those, what is it, bargaining? You're like, hey, man, what if I do this? And I'm like, dude, you're a grown man. You can do it if you want, but that's not how the weight's going to come off. So, I mean,
I felt so bad that first night, like at the sauna with him.
Yeah.
And we walked in there with his favorite energy drink.
Yeah, we did. It's mental training, dude. Those are the things that we need.
It was like we walked in there. He loves Bangs. He loves the Bang energy drink, whatever. And, we just happened to see him. I was like, hey, we should get that team Mike likes those. And then, we didn't even think about it. We went in there. He just. What, you got Bangs? You got a Bang? He was like, what flavor is that? And I was like, I think it's mango apple. And he goes like, man, I've never had that flavor. He was like, let me smell it.
It just kept getting worse and worse because he was like, I got pina colada. He's got mango something. And he's like, I've never even heard of those ones. Those new Bangs?
He was like, where'd you get those? He goes like, they're just at the GNC thing. And he goes like, man, I was like, y'all are terrible. He was like, doing this to me? That's my favorite, Vic.
That's what you got to do, man. Like,
That's
you have
funny.
to realize that you're sacrificing certain things to get to where you want to be. And I feel like him competing the way he did, doing so well, it's a big victory for him.
But it's funny, like right after his last match was over, he literally runs up to him and he's like, I'll drop it down the weight.
He's like, I'm not making these mistakes anymore. I'm not eating the way I am.
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
getting this down.
Yeah, but no, he's a phenomenal competitor. I'll say that.
He was stone faced. Like, okay, you know how like you always are saying like some fighters like peak on the little walk up into like he was like, and you were worried about him like just kind of in the bullpit waiting his turn, and like he was just walking back and forth, just chomping down at the bit on his like mouthpiece and everything like that. You're just like, I was like, he's got to calm down. He's keeping like. He's keeping up a pace, just going back and forth, just trying to keep the hype up. Never went down. That dude's unreal.
Yeah.
And that's on it. He stayed up there.
He's just like, just walking around, was like, just walking back, just like,
yeah, dude. And that's one of the things that comes from being an athlete. I mean, I'm excited to see where his MMA career goes within a year, maybe two with us, once he actually starts fighting. Probably probably after a year, I think, because of just his athleticism, and not just athleticism, but being an athlete for so long, you know how to learn.
Right.
It's just like you've gone through high school, you went to college, you can go to a master's program now, right?
Right.
Because you have the ability to learn. You know how to listen, you're coachable. And that's what he's got, and I'm super excited to work with him on that. Like, there's already little things that Edgar's taught him, and he obsesses over. The same way I did when I got here. He would give me little things on footwork or whatever, and I would just obsess on them.
Dude, they had the same kind of like thing. It was like, bro, Edgar told me something last night, and I was like, it was just like, it was like, dude, it was like,
that's unreal.
That's, it was like, dude, that's a thing. That's a thing. That's the thing. That's the thing.
He's pulling from the scrolls tonight. He's pulling from them scrolls, dude.
Oh,
Dip into them elder
Secret
scrolls.
parchments.
oh
Yeah, man.
goodness.
Oh.
If anybody doesn't know about like this thing that we're talking about, it's a stupid thing that I had like, what is it, like 3 weeks ago, maybe
About
3 weeks ago. So we have this back room in the gym. Never been in the back room. I never cared to go in the back room. That's Edgar's area. That's whatever. I remember I was sleeping. I had a dream. Like we were helping someone getting ready. I think it was you getting ready for a fight or something. I was just here just to help out. Edgar was like, go in there. Go there. There's lockers. Grab this thing. Come back out. Go right. Do not turn left. And I'm just over here. I'm like, I'm not going to go left. I don't want to go left. I want to get this thing. I go back, and obviously, since if you turn right and then you turn back around, you're obviously going to look left. And it's just like this curtain and like a cold light behind it. I was like, I'm going to see what's behind it.
Just real quick. I'm
just going to see it. I'm just going to see it. I'm bad at it. Curiosity kills me every time. Like, I'm just going to have to just naturally curious. So I walk in there, and there's just scrolls. Like those old like scrolls that you see, like the kung fu, like like the how to punch and how to guard and everything, kind of stuff like that you see from old kung fu movies, and like binders of like MMA, like theory and put into work and like hand drawn everything. And I was amazed. And it was just like powered, like almost like you ever see that show Hoarders? It was like, just like all up to the ceiling, and it was just like I was just looking through each one of them. I was like, oh my goodness, these are just like mind blowing. And I turn around, and there's Edgar, and it's just the silhouette of him. And I was just like, Edgar, these are just amazing. Like, dude, he goes like, you've written these. These are in your handwriting. I was like, Charlie, I told you not to go left. And he starts going at me like this, and just like I was like, no, Edgar, no. I woke up, I was just like,
Cold sweats.
I was just like. Okay, it's just a dream. And now I look at that room every time. I still never been in there, and I think of that time that I almost died. there's no like trying to get away from it. It's just like I still think about it, and I just think about like it's like I'm not gonna go back there. And then sometimes I still kind of like peek in there. It's like Charlie, you're stupid. Let's not think about this.
But you won't go in there now because it's a mental.
It's definitely a mental. It's definitely a mental area. If I walked in there, it'd probably be like I think it's Aristotle or like Socrates, the cave or something like that. When someone just like barely walks out of the cave and their just mind is it just explodes because they're just wow, there's an outside. I'd be like, bro, there's an inside.
It's the entrance in Narnia. It's in there.
There's like no way that you can like. I still think about it. I'm looking at it right now, and I can just see it. I was like, bro, Charlie, you're just stupid.
It's the vanilla gorilla all over again.
Oh, no. Dude.
So you got to tell about the vanilla gorilla. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't want to learn this guy's name.
No, he's forever in my mind, the vanilla gorilla. Okay. So the first time that I ever went to a jiu-jitsu competition, it was for him. It was a sub only. We were in Edmond. And we were just kind of like going through. He sees this purple belt that's just jacked to the gills, just jacked white dude. He had this like dreaded like mohawk thing going on, and he was just like boom, boom, boom. And I didn't think anything of it. I never thought of it. I just looked down. I was like, oh, that's a big dude. And I was like, that's kind of like what a purple belt in my mind looks like. I was like, whatever. And then Vic over here is just like, bro, he's like in my head. I was like, what do you mean? And he's just like lion walking across the mat back and forth, hardcore, earbuds in, humming. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a Drake song. I'm pretty sure it was a Drake song.
And he was dancing.
It was just like, ooh, and just like going back and forth. And like, it was so intimidating. I have no idea. Like, I don't know. What's that one thing? Like the aura pressure from some people just kind of like freaks you out sometimes. Like he just
had Anderson Silva's aura.
Oh God, it was so like
there was doves
like
in the background.
Yeah,
his aura was purple.
Like
Vic,
Vic was just telling me, he was just like, dude, he's in my head, and I was like, oh, shut up. And I started watching him. I was like, bro, he's in my head. He was like, dude, there's like, and I just start rattling off this stuff, and I feel so stupid for thinking all this just on the spot. I was like, dude, this guy's like the vanilla. He doesn't have a normal name. He has like a Twitter handle or like some sort of Instagram name. He was like the Vanilla Gorilla or like Honky Kong or something like that.
Honky Kong.
I was just like, there's no way this dude is so jacked. There's no way he cannot lose. And that's what happened. He went and got gold that match. We seen him again at this tournament right here.
Bigger than ever.
Bigger. And his head was shaved. He looked like he went classical for a little bit. Like he had shaved head. He had like the old grandpa glasses and stuff like that Conor McGregor has. He had like the white Chuck Taylors, and like he was coaching too. And
wearing the tightest shorts I've ever seen, like tight cargo shorts.
Like if you look like Brendan Schaub, like some of the tight jeans that he wears sometimes, and you're just like, damn.
Like the threads that they used to make his pants have to be made out of like steel or something. Otherwise, they're just struggling to hold on. Just
adamantium.
Oh goodness! And I see this dude, and I try telling people. I tell people at the gym, I was like, dude, this guy's intense. And then we saw him, and I was like, bro, dude, it's the Vanilla Gorilla. And he was like, what? I'm like, where? I was like, it's there, right there. His head shaved. And I seen him. And he wasn't all amped up whenever he was competing or anything. Because I watched. I was definitely going to watch. Like, T-Mike was over here, and he was watching T-Mike. And he was just, like, looking there like a TA professor that was just, like, ready to graduate. And he was just like, it's good technique. It's good.
I like what you do.
It was, like, better. It's better than from, like, what we saw that was just, like, the wild man. Just, like a Clay Guida. Just kind of like, he's just going back and forth. And it's just, like, he's just...
But remember when the first time you saw him, he had dreadlocks.
He did.
See, maybe it was just this like the Samson thing, dude. You took all his power away.
Or I don't know. I wish I was able to see him like all the way for the purple belts, but oh my goodness, this dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I made it bigger in my head, or maybe I didn't have that much food that day, so I might just like.
You didn't have your Snickers yet.
I didn't have my Snickers yet, so it might have been just like off the belt. I remember every time when I was like saying all that stuff during the sub only about him, you were just like,
dude, I'm just dying the whole time trying to.
And you were in front of us, and like you were with AJ because AJ was about to go after, and all I see was AJ go like this and like just like.
He's like, this is the guys that we decided to let into our gym. Really, this is the kind of people we associate.
So he was just like looking down, and like I remember you, and I think I saw you go like. Like, just trying not to laugh, maybe just because of the ridiculousness, or just like, what is this guy like talking about? Because out of context, I know that could sound really terrible, but I was just.
He was in the zone.
It was goodness. There's just nothing like a jiu-jitsu competition. Just probably the most friendliest people out there.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like everything. I think I make like a new friend every time I go out there. Like just different people out there, just wanting to learn. Even the judges that were out there with kids, guys that are older, just showing them like, hey, next time when you get stuck in that, they'll show them like they're in suits, like nice suits, and they're showing like, what you could just like pushed your hand over, you could like hip and skipped and went around. Just the friendliest people I've really ever seen. Like they're all willing to talk to you. Like, hey, T-Mike's guy that he went in the no-gi with, the
Became his friend right after.
Became his best friend.
He's like, hey, how you doing, man? You doing pretty good in this match, aren't you? Good job.
Became his best friend and a fan. Because when he went to the gi matches, he was watching and he was like saying, "Come on, T Mike, show that hustle. Come on. You know,
he turned into wrestling dad real quick.
Oh, for real, that was intense. Like for Team Mike's gi, it felt like there was like 3 or 4 people.
There was a crowd.
There was 3 or 4 people that was like yelling for Team Mike, and I feel like that really like fueled his everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, I noticed that too, man. There was a crowd in Team Mike.
Well, there was a crowd for him during his gi too. I don't know if it's just because it's like 2 big guys or just the display that he did, you know, was going into the gate and almost going into the table with the screen and everything
they're just
like that.
Getting after
and just hit like the stone face that he had to just like get up and just go. Because literally, they went at each other like bulls. Like just locking horns, moving back. Like I think of the old movie. Y'all ever seen The Cowboys with like John Wayne?
No, I don't watch John Wayne movies.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm anti-John Wayne.
You're anti-John Wayne.
This is John Wayne play.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But you know, with the Cowboys, where like the 2 bulls, like the young bull and the old bull, always goes like. Some days one gets the other one, and just that intensity of both of them just locking horns and just like boom,
pushing each other around.
Well, I think a lot of it was we're in Oklahoma, and you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament, and usually you see guys that have like a very jiu-jitsu type of grappling stance. And T Mike, second he's out there, he's
already,
and everybody's like, boom, wrestler, let's go watch that guy. Wrestler dad that had his kids competing in the jiu-jitsu tournament was like, I'm going to watch that guy.
And I was like,
I'll be right back, son. I gotta go check this out.
You got this. Coach got you. No worries. You just see, there was the same type of guy. They all had like little netted hats like that, maybe like a little polo shirt,
wrestling
and like a wrestling dad. Just like over here, it was like shirts tucked in. Maybe it's like a little like an Oakley shirt with like
moccasins
with a little crop. Yeah, moccasins.
Those moccasins, man. That's what I need to get me a pair of moccasins.
Bro, the moccasins I got, those like driving moccasins.
I could blend in.
Yeah,
I could be just like every other Okie.
Okay.
You know you can.
You
got okified when you got here.
I did.
Real quick.
that the one place on earth I did not expect to find Muay Thai.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Oklahoma has a big thing of like just a little bit of everything.
It's a rich history of combats.
Yeah, a lot of combat sports there. I think a lot of it has to do with the casinos because you find loopholes whenever you can't have these sanctioned fights someplace. You go in, hey, well, there's citizens of Potawatomi want to put on some fights.
Yeah. Heck, even like there's so much country.
Yeah, it's open space, you know.
It's I mean, there's just so much country, you know. You find those like little underground things like all the time sometimes, and you just not that I approve of those or anything. I like a real regulated everything, but I mean, you find it. And especially here in Stillwater. Stillwater has like, I don't know if it's because of the college and the wrestling and everything, but I feel like stuff just feeds into here for like high level fighters, like moving up, going someplace, going over here, just like, I don't know, just get that one base.
You definitely have a lot of like high level wrestlers, and now it's just high level grappling that's coming out. Because we've got a lot of like jiu-jitsu guys coming out here. I mean, we've got Lovato.
Yes.
You know, we've got
Lovato held it down for the longest time. Oklahoma.
I didn't realize how big that dude was. We saw him. We saw him at the tournament.
He's a superhero.
He is like a big middleweight.
Definitely built like a superhero. He's even got the forearms to match.
Yeah.
It's intense.
I remember the first time I saw him fight, and I knew who he was and like his lineage and stuff like that. And I was like, that's a good black belt right there. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand like how good he was until I saw him fight in the cage, and just what he did to somebody was just amazing. And it looked flawless, effortless. Mm-hmm. And you just holding him down. I was like, that guy's control was just another world, another world of control, dude. Like he's just nope. This way also closed. You know that scene from Talladega Nights where he's sit, nuts, this way also close. You make me feel like my heel. And that's what he was doing to this guy. Like, he's like, hold on, no,
Not today.
And I think it was him against, I want to say it's Dennis, the kickboxer. Kickboxer from Oklahoma.
Not Perry,
No.
but I know who you're talking
Something
about.
with a D and an M. And like his first name starts with a D and his last name starts with an M, I think.
Dennis Murray?
No. Oh, I wish we could give that guy some credit.
From where? Well, I mean, Oklahoma.
He's from Oklahoma.
He's from Oklahoma. He's like from the, actually Muskogee area, wasn't
Is he?
he? Yeah, he was from the Muskogee area.
He was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, he fought in the UFC actually too, a couple fights.
Yeah.
There's so many names.
He's
out
been
there.
on he was the LFA champ for a while. That was when Lovato won his title. Oh, it's gonna bug me.
Let me look it up.
We'll think on it. We'll get back to it. We're researching it right now.
It's in the process.
It's in the process. Always.
Myron Dennis.
Oh, Myron Dennis, yes.
Myron Dennis. There we
There you
go. Yeah, man. And
Brain
like, I
balls.
thought he was just going to kick his head off. I thought Myron was just going to whack. No. Kept his cool, but stayed very jiu-jitsu fighter.
Mhm.
You know? And it was a really cool thing to watch.
You do see kind of like the high level jiu-jitsu fighters when they do fight in the cage and stuff like that. You see like a very good calmness about them, like Brian Ortega. That's a big thing, especially his last match was just like bump, 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 bump,
Bang.
bump.
That's
And
one of the things that's changed with me so much since actually training jiu-jitsu now. Is like,
you're way calmer.
yeah.
You were
You don't
a
have
terror.
that blitz
You
anymore.
were a terror in Muay Thai and like MMA. You were just like all over the place.
Just wanted to hit somebody.
You just you get to that point where you're just like we would go to like one of your things and you just be like jump down and you just be like
So I always had the fangs.
It's
Just
like-
be frothing at the mouth. Just,
just ultimate like just maybe mad, maybe grumpy, just like
yeah, that's really hungry.
instead of like ever since with like Edgar, I see like a really big change with it. You're a little more open. You have a little bit
It's more balanced.
more balance. Not too crazy. You're a lot more calmer in the cage. I see you, and you're over here just kind of like eyebrows off to the side, kind of like. And then double leg,
Double leg.
overhand.
Or getting hit in the face like, oh, wait, yeah, I remember. I don't like this.
Yeah,
Stand up now.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, but just a good calmness. Like I see that, like with me in here, like whenever we have the gloves on, we're just like hitting on the face, or if there's a guy on top of you and they're just as big or bigger than you, and they're just smothering you, and it's helped me just like calm down in just regular life. Like I was just like, or I'm at work or something like that, or I'm out doing something and something crazy happens. I'm like, okay, well we need to do this. We need to do this, and it allows that follow through with everything else that you kind of do. Not to just, I really recommend jiu-jitsu to like everybody if they can. Like it's just it helps with a lot of things. Helps like especially like I've always had bad knees. Like in Muay Thai, I think I pretty much tore them up to like almost like to the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, I've seen like a big difference in just like demeanor at work. And I know you probably use it all the time. It's not so much the, hey, I'm going to use jiu-jitsu on something. I'm going to use the skills that I developed in jiu-jitsu to calm myself down so I can help somebody else. When I'm working with kids with disabilities that are like flipping out, screaming, and trying to hit me and stuff, I'm just like, hey, what's wrong? Let's take a deep breath. Think about the choices we're making. We're making good choices, we're making bad choices. And then we just move on from there. Because they can feel your energy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It teaches you to be calm and assertive.
You don't have to be rough and
Right.
aggressive to be assertive.
That's the hard part, especially with with everybody in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right now we have a couple beginners, guys, athletes from different disciplines, you know, in sports and even some martial arts. And I started to see that change now for the better.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first 2 weeks, it was just like, I'm not gonna let this little guy beat me. I'm not gonna let this little guy choke me. I'm not gonna let this little guy pin me on my back on the ground and keep me there, you know. And I could tell they would go home and they would just like obsess over like coming in here and putting the whooping on me, and or thinking of strategies of how they're going to outmaneuver me.
Right.
Only for it to fail and them being stuck in a bad position and they're screaming. And I'm just kind of like, hold my macchiato.
Hold my macchiato.
You know? But it's, I was like, dude, just calm down. Like, lower your heart rate.
That was a hard thing for me, especially going in here. I never done any grappling.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a little kid. I wrestled, but not to like an educated standpoint like this. It's a whole different world, and I'm slowly learning at a really slow pace. But I mean, I'm learning different tricks that works for me, and just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going.
Well, look at the difference in just martial arts stakes. I'm going to use my background is wrestling and Muay Thai, right? So in wrestling, it was always hike that heart rate up as much as you can before you have a match.
Yeah.
Before you're about to wrestle, at wrestling practice, dude, even, it was, let's start with a run, let's get that heart rate going, and then we're just going to smash each other. You know, after we get done drilling, even drilling is hard drilling, you know? And then Muay Thai, it was, well, you know, we're putting in Copenhagen, you know, we're rubbing ourselves down with Nama Muay, getting ready to just work that bag as hard as we can, and then sparring afterwards. And sparring, maybe we're not always hitting, but we're slapping the crap out of each other every single time. We're going hard.
Sometimes that one, you do get tagged.
Yeah, every now and then.
You do get tagged. With
every now and then. You're drilling elbow, somebody's going to get up.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just the nature of the.
And then in here, we can go hard, but it's controlled enough to where we're not going to hurt it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for real. Like everybody's just got a little bit of everything. Just working wise and everything.
Yeah. But like I said, it's the thing, man. You know, you see that change in people and how they just start to understand themselves better, and they start to breathe better, and slowly start to take control of the situation they're dealt with.
Exactly. Well, everybody, right now we're gonna kind of stop it at that. We'll come back to this probably several times in other podcasts, but
sure.
I appreciate both y'all for kind of being here and kind of working with me in my side project and everything. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
It's the thing. It's out there.
It's the thing. It's out there. Slot. Do you guys want to promote anything real quick?
Not just yet. I haven't had official word on anything just yet, but I want to.
Yes, I do. Actually, Conquest Promotions. It's a promotion I've been working with very closely for the past couple months, and things are now, the wheels are spinning, we're getting things done. I am the matchmaker for Super Fights, Jiu-Jitsu Super Fights over in Winfield, Kansas, April 14. If anybody out there in the Jiu-Jitsu community is interested or in having a Jiu-Jitsu competition or a Super Fight, get a hold of me. Find me on Facebook, Edgar Escalante, or through the Jiu-Jitsu Academy of Stillwater Facebook page. Also in May, we're thinking of doing a tournament and some Super Fights here in Stillwater.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll be, the next thing in here. And June 23rd, we're gonna have the live MMA fights here at the fairgrounds at the Expo Center.
I'm excited for those.
I am excited for that.
If you need help, though, I'll be there for you.
I will know who to call, sure. And so we're gonna have some local talent, be over there at the June 23rd. Victor, I have AJ also competing in it. I just want to be competing in the 155-pound lightweight tournament, and it's we're gonna try to determine the region's best 155er.
Okay.
And it's a 3-event tournament.
Okay.
And so that's what we're gonna be doing. Right now, if anybody's interested in sponsoring the event, get a hold of me again through my Facebook page. and we can start talking about the sponsorships. We have different levels of sponsorships that you guys can do, and the bigger the event, the more fighters we can get, the better quality that we will be able to produce, and it's just going to be great.
I'll be sure to put everything down, like Conquest Promotions, the gym, everything. Hell, I'll even throw a couple pictures up of the guys that we're talking about, so you have like a name to a face.
Yeah,
a
for
face
sure.
to a name, or whatever it's called.